But when we look at the setting and the action, well, that's only components of the anime. So music also serves a really good role in determining the overall scope of an anime, depicting the entire, what I will call, for the purposes of the discussion, the atmosphere. So it's just like a painter, instead of focusing on just the train or maybe the hills or the flowers, she tries to focus on the entire picture. Well, music can also serve in the same vein by depicting the entire scope of what an anime represents. So with that, the next clip that we'll look at is from an anime called Honey and Clover. Now, for those of you who've seen Honey and Clover, it's just a really strong, emotionally impactful show. And in this clip, you'll hear music made by the band Depa Pepe, which consists of 2 guitarists. And the music here is really warm, really mellow, and it does a good job of capturing the essence of going through life. So the show focuses on college students who are entering a new environment, for some of them for the first time, and they have to figure out what it is they want to do with their lives, the search for their own identity, the sort of navigating the weird corridors that life offers in terms of finding work, and of course, is the experience everyone feels falling in or possibly out of love. So with that,
愛すべき人たちとの何気ない日常はそれなりに楽しくて楽しくてそんな頃に僕は君と出会ったんだ。ハグちゃん、あの時から僕の恋は始まっていたんだ。きっと森田さんも。でも回り始めたのは僕たちだけじゃなくて。
From all that, you can just get a sense for just how the music is uplifts and the slow pacing that the college students experience. And also, of course, the other parts like the little tips, which I think does a good job of representing the surprises and the curveballs that life throws at you. But in the show, people adjust to the circumstances and they move on. And I think the music captures the human spirit of just moving along with life, doing the best you can, and letting the currents go where life takes you. Now the next track is a little bit more upbeat in that the show, Yakitate Japan, is really, really obsessed with bread making. Like, you're not just trying to create food for people to eat, you're trying to create an art form. As you take flour, water, sugar, butter, and turning it into something that's completely wonderful. And one of the highlights of this track is in the way the energy comes forth from the spark of inspiration all the way to the methodical parts of actually creating the bread. And this is what effectively results when you have a bunch of, I guess, breadophiles in a room together.
そうやって中心から円を描くように少しずつ水と粉を合わせていくんです。なんか重てえな。あら、なんだか水の減りが激しいですね。さらに足しますか。
なんちゅう水分吸収力。これはまるで灼熱の砂漠に水をまいたようや。これは生地内のグルテン繊維が網の目のように水分を吸収してるからや。この良質な生地は通常の発酵では作れへん。太陽の手と呼ばれる人並み外れな暖かい木がイースト水を最高の環境で発酵させたんや。おお、さらにバターと塩を加えたんかい。規定の分量はすでに入れたはずや。あないに味付け濃くしたら、いや、そうか。水分を多く含む生地はその分味が薄まる。せやからこそ大胆な味付けが より深みのある味付けが可能なんや。
That's just, if you want to be a bread artisan, that's the way to do it. That's the attitude you take. And I think the music does a good job of getting that inspiration, piling it all together, and showing all the steps that you take to take that love of bread and really elevate it and to create something that's absolutely wondrous. Because the music's really bouncy and fun. So it's not like a boring process like, all right, 4 tablespoons of this, 3 teaspoons of that. But no, just let your creativity flow and let something awesome come out of it. Now we move on to something that's a little bit more dark and serious. And well, Death Note is pretty dark and serious. And a lot of it focuses on the conflict between Light, who is just a little bit of a sociopath, and a little bit of a megalomaniac, just a little bit. And I think the conflict is set up really well through Yoshihisa Hirano's use of music, which really sounds a lot like O Fortuna from Karl Orff's Carmina Burana. And hopefully this scene will illustrate what I mean by just how serious things are.
有力な情報と前もっての仕込みでどう見ても勉強している受験生を装いながら僕はデスノートで今報道されている犯罪者を殺すことができる。右手で方程式を解き続け左手で名前を書きポテチを取り食べる。
I mean, really, who goes through all that just to write a death note? Seriously. I mean, you have people who, I guess, megalomaniac is probably an understatement. And I really love how the music just takes that premise and really just goes all over the top with it, exaggerating every single step of the way to the point where you just think, wow, we're watching a grand, awesome conflict take place. And just watching this L and Light butt head to head, well, I can't think of anything that works better than this sort of really high tension, cataclysmic sounding melodies. But of course, sometimes it's not all about the mega rivalries, but sometimes it's all about the tragedies or the journey in this instance. So with that, Jade will show us what that is in Fullmetal Alchemist.
So, Fullmetal Alchemist is, as you probably know, a popular and well-known series. This is actually from the first one, which has arguably better music than the second one. Fullmetal Alchemist is about 2 brothers and their quest to right past mistakes they've made by finding the Philosopher's Stone, a powerful artifact. It's a story about how these 2 brothers mature as they move on from their past and fight for their goals in the future. So, this symbolic scene will especially demonstrate what this show is all about.
多分母さんの命と10日交換できるものなんてさこの世にはないんだ。それにお前まで失いたくない。
だったらやっぱり僕も行くよ。
なんでだよ。
兄さんすぐサボるじゃん。僕がついてなかったら
そういうこと言うわけ。
二度と離れ離れになりたくないし。自分たちの体であっても禁じられた人体錬成を求めることに違いはない。失敗すれば今度こそこの世から消えるかもしれない。それ以上のどんな報いを受けるかも。それでも後戻りはできない。
By burning down the house, it's obviously like the symbol of burning down their past and forcing themselves to move forward. And the Russian song you can hear in the background really captures the tragedy of having to let go of everything that they held dear to themselves and the difficulty they're going to have to face as they move towards the future. So this song has, to me, also always had this like sense of mystery as well, probably because they don't know what they're facing as they turn away from the house of theirs that's burning behind them. Now, in any case, tragedy is this incredibly broad category, and this is only one sort of tragedy. Our next clip comes from an anime that's rather famed for being very, very tragic. So, some of you have probably heard of 5 centimeters per second. Unfortunately, we have to play right now because we're running out of time. But it's this song here. It's an anime that deals with love and separation, themes that the director Makoto Shinkai is very famed for dealing with in his works. In this clip, the song in this clip in particular talks about love and distance and the regret of not taking opportunities that one had in the past. It's not an outright depressing song. There's also a hint of happiness that you can hear, perhaps from warm recollections of memories that can be seen flitting across the screen. The way the song just manages to cram in so many emotions is just really beautiful and, well, part of what makes music so great. So we'll just watch this for a bit. I guess the way the song can capture so many emotions in a way that's just much more accurate and detailed than things like pictures or words could ever do is part of why Grace and I have fallen in love with music and especially anime music so much. So that's why we continue exploring and sharing why we love anime music so much.
Okay, so thank you everybody for coming. Yes, we don't have time for guys enjoy the presentation.